Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to MTDCNC. I'm here with my buddy Rick Bauer today, and we're talking about edge technology and their bar feeder lines. How you doing today, Rick?
Great, Eric. How are you?
Fantastic. So this is the edge line, and here we have the Patriot 338. You want to tell us a bit about your machine here?
Absolutely. So this is the new Generation 2 Patriot 338. We've actually done some sheet metal modifications and upgrades to it. We've opened up the windows. Got some nice lighting in there. As you can see, there's an LED light that kind of works in the operator area. A little bit more of the ergonomic sheet metal, as well as some quick change channel functions.
So with these quick change channel functions, Rick, what's that going to provide for the customer? Is it going to give them a faster setup time?
It will. So as we all know, customers and shops are all about time and efficiency. And so with the quick change channel set, we've eliminated 39 fasteners that had to be quarter turned to simply sliding them a ½ inch and lifting the parts right out is a substantial reduction in setup.
Fantastic, and it's just like a nice press fit that holds the sleeve in there?
Yeah, so they're stacked against each other and locked in with a pin, so it gives the same endurance and support that the old style done, just with a much faster changeover.
Nice, yeah, locking it in with a pin as opposed to having to turn all those screws.
Yeah, it's really nice. Really nice. And maybe one of the other final functions we'll talk about is we've kind of standardized on a new Delta HMI touchscreen color control, so that's a nice upgrade in regards to interaction for the operator as well as to the machine, getting data in there to the bar feeder so that we can communicate with the lathe much quickly.
Fantastic, and I notice here that this is, I mean, it's a pretty nice HMI screen. Is this larger than your previous?
It's much larger. It's 7 inches in size. The old one was about 4 inches. Sometimes machine shop people have huge fingers, and the icons were so small that we felt the need to give that expansion. And our eyesights are getting worse the older we get, so it's much more colorful and easy to use.
Fantastic. Yeah, the color coding, I mean, it makes it a lot more simplistic as well.
It does. You can actually go right after the red and the green. So green indicates good, red indicates bad, or a need for attention. So it really helps.
Fantastic. So do you guys have like a service team that goes out and installs these for a customer, or are they on their own?
We do. We have roughly 36 service engineers across North America, and we're pocketed in 5 different territories. And in those 5 territories, there's multiple people and technicians in those regions. So we do 95% of all of our sales. We do those installations ourselves with our team, basically assuring the customer that they get the best training on the equipment.
Fantastic. Yeah, and 5 locations, across the country, and all your employees and your service technicians. I mean, you're really providing that local support when the customer needs it, when their bar feeder goes down.
That's right. So we hit those big regions such as Southern California, Chicago, New England, the Ohio Valley, and down south in the southeast. Those are the big pockets where we really focus and concentrate on our service.
That's fantastic. Yeah, without when the automation goes down, what's the point of automating if it's not going to be running? Right?
That's right. That's right.
Fantastic. Do you want to tell us about any of the other lines in the edge?
Yeah, let's move right into the Minuteman. This is the Minuteman 320. And so in the bar feeding world, we match the lathe nomenclature with our numbers. So 320 is a very easy indication that is 3 millimeters to 20 millimeters. In English, that's an 1/8 inch to 20 millimeter, which is 3/4 inch. And so this is an 1/8 to 3/4 inch bar feeder. And this bar feeder is very fit to the Swiss world. And so that Swiss world can be anything from medical to contract manufacturing, body jewelry, dental, any of that type of stuff is very common in the 20 millimeter world.
Fantastic. And of course, this is a general statement, but a lot of times with these Swiss machines, we're seeing quicker cycle times with fast metal removal. So your bar feeder is there to keep that spindle going.
That's correct. There's actually one little piece of secret sauce to this product I'd like to show you guys down here at the far end. And we call the acronym MAVD, which stands for Movable Anti-Vibration Device. And this device right here is utilized to stabilize the material as it exits the bar feeder and enters the back of the lathe spindle. And that is the area where harmonics and vibration get occurred, or the jump rope effect takes place. And so with this device on all standard Minuteman products, we can assure kind of a elimination of that transition zone having vibration and harmonics in it.
And what does that all transition to? Does that provide higher part quality, maybe a longer spindle liner life?
I think really the benefits go back into things like tool life and a better quality part with better surface finish. So no chatter on the part, no vibration.
Fantastic. All right, should we go check out the Rebel 80 servo unloader?
Yeah, we got a tag team over here that we'd like to duo on with you. We have an imaginary lathe in between the two. However, we'll start off on the front side of the Rebel 80. And from the Rebel 80, we'll talk about the unloader in regards to getting some parts out of the machine. So here's our Rebel 80 short loader. This product is very good at low volume frequent changeovers. So when a customer is doing product quantities such as 50 of this and 20 of that and 500 of this and 30 of that, those types of low volume quantities require frequent changeovers, sometimes daily. And that's where this product really shines, because there's only 3 things to do. We simply slide the machine out of the way, change the lathe spindle liner, bring the bar feeder back into place, put our part program in there, and away we go. Simple changeover, roughly 5 to 10 minutes.
Fantastic. Yeah, I see where that would really target that lower volume, high mix market.
That's correct. So with that being said, I'd like to demonstrate or at least talk about our Rebel 80 unloader. So in this particular application, we are loading into a main spindle of machine. The unloader is really a great product that's good for part lengths 8 inches to 30 inches. Something that is longer than a parts catcher, however, shorter than the sub spindle of the machine, so that we can actually extract that out. So this particular machine is going to go in with a mechanical gripper, grab the part, extract it through the sub spindle, confirm that the part has been removed, and continue production.
Fantastic, and you see a lot of automation solutions, you know, whether it be a robotic part unloader or a parts catcher, and this is a pretty unique solution.
This is a very unique solution. So this has been driven predominantly from the hydraulics and fitting industry, such as boat motor shafts, chrome polished cylinders, fracking tubes, anything that's long, sometimes heavy duty, or even something that requires some gauging on it. The customer wants to get that part out of the machine and instantaneously gauge it so that they can make sure there's no offsets needed to continue production.
With a product like this, how many competitors are you seeing in the marketplace?
Really, with a label on it, there's less than 5, but there's several homemade style systems that people do for this type of stuff.
Okay. Fantastic, cool solution. So should we real quick go and touch on the Commander 880? I believe this is kind of the flagship machine that you just released. It's been catching a lot of attention.
It is. This is the Commander 880. We have just released this hot off the press, specifically here for release in the US. This is an 80 millimeter, 3-inch diameter machine. And we're going to go ahead and just take a quick look at that sucker. It's big and beefy, and so the key to running 3-inch diameter solid bar stock is mass rigidity for support. So our key is to eliminate harmonics and vibration at the tool tip of the machine by adding this type of mass to the base of the construction of the machine.
And I'm sure that's largely important because, like you said, when you get to this 80 millimeter diameter bar stock, some large lengths, obviously the stock isn't coming in perfectly cylindrical. So you're really there to handle that vibration and really anchor down your machine.
We do. I think the whole world knows that material is certainly the most important part of successful parts in a CNC lathe. Uniquely enough, the material is getting more complicated to get, the shapes are getting more difficult, and so with that being said, the bar feeders become a very important part of being successful in running large diameter, multiple piece runs.
Fantastic. And you guys have the additional technology like the anti-vibratory feeders to accommodate these types of issues.
That's correct.
Fantastic. So now moving on to the FB line, FMB.
We're going to go to the FMB line and we're going to take a look at 3 or 4 products here. And we're going to also start at the low range of things. In this case is our Micromag 20. This particular machine is running material specifically down to 30 thousandths and up to 3/4 of an inch. So 30 thousandths material is really fine. And the uniqueness to being small material, there are three really important factors. We need to be able to isolate and separate the material because of the lightness of the material. We need to press. We need to press the. We need to make. There are three important parts to this. We need to use the walking beam to separate material. We need to use a light-duty gripper so that we don't crush the material as we load it in there. And we also offer a pneumatic clutch along with the servo motor so that we can control the force that we push on the material.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like there's multiple different cruxes when it comes to dealing with something that's 30 thousandths in diameter, you know?
Sure, and so here's a great look at the walking beam, if you will. You can see the isolation and the separation of this machine.
So what target industry do you have with a product like this?
This machine predominantly finds itself heavily involved in the medical industry for orthopedic instruments, for bone screws, for dental implants, for really small electronics, small connectors. It's very important for that type of industry.
And I imagine with bars of this diameter, it's probably on a Swiss-style machine as opposed to a traditional.
That's correct. This is 99% of the time put on a Swiss-style machine.
Okay, fantastic. How about, looking down, I'm seeing them get bigger and bigger and bigger. What's behind this?
So the uniqueness to the build of the machine is as the bigger we get, the more mass finds itself into the product. So we're building the machines, as you can see in this case with the Turbo 338. This is our flagship 38 millimeter machine used predominantly in the Swiss market. It's this casting or this heavy duty base is what kind of puts this bar feeder in a league of its own. So the heavy dutiness, when we get into inch and 1/4, and even up to 1.5 inches in the Swiss world, that's what separates this product. We can also move to the front. I'd like to point out two more features that are really specific to the Swiss lathes. This device is called an axial shift device, and this device allows the bar feeder to shuttle on a Z-axis plane when the Swiss lathe transfers from Swiss to chucker mode or non-guide bushing mode. So when the customer or the OEM says, we're going to remove the guide bushing and we're going to make small parts with no guide bushing, this device allows us to shuttle the bar feeder forward so that we're close to the back of the spindle. This device, this Turbo 338 also has the MAVD device on the front that I'd like to point out as well. So this is a much larger system here, and you can see as we connect to the back of the spindle of the CNC lathe, this steady device right here is what can tame the material in the harmonics and vibrations as we transfer from the bar feeder into the spindle of the machine.
I think that the axial slide feature is really quite incredible because, someone buys this Swiss-style lathe, they want to use guided and non-guiding modes, right? They still want that flexibility.
That's
well, they
right.
can still automate and have a bar feeder without losing that flexibility.
That's correct, yeah. So the ability is very simple. It's just a few bolts and it's a very easy slide. So there are three positions actually on the axial shift, and that matches the manufacturer's distance. So we have three different positions that we can actually move that to match the manufacturer of the Swiss lathe's non-guide bushing chucker mode position.
That's fantastic. Really makes it a complete package, right?
That's
They're
right.
all working
That's
together
right.
in that sense. So.
We're going to get into the F&B Turbo 565. This is now 2.5 inch capacity machine. This is a bar feeder in a league of its own. And the reason that is because this is the only bar feeder in the world built on a cast iron frame. If you can see the underneath construction of this bar feeder, it's a 6,000 pound casting. And so the uniqueness to that casting is that physics tells us when we run the hydrodynamic effect or floating bar in oil, that oil is only capable of holding the bar up to about 2 inches. And so when we start to achieve material sizes greater than 2 inches, we rely on this casting to absorb the harmonics and vibration, and cast iron absorbs 10 times the harmonics and vibration of traditional steel. So even though the bar feeder may have the traditional style vibration in it, we're certainly eliminating the vibration and harmonics to the tooltip and work holding. And as you can see, the machine is also prepared with isolated electronics. So as we get into these larger machines, regardless of activity that occurs within the bar feeder, the actual electronic cabinet is not affected whatsoever.
That's fantastic. I didn't really realize the anti-vibratory characteristics of a cast iron base, so you learn something new every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Cast iron's a great thing. So
fantastic. Anything else you'd like to highlight?
I think we'll finish up with the showpiece of all. This is our 4-inch. This is our 4-inch style FMB Turbo 20-100. Of course, back to the metric game, 100 millimeters represents a solid 4-inch of material. This bar feeder is completely capable of 4-inch diameter solid material. As we talked about our previous model, the 565 on a cast iron frame, this machine is also on a cast iron frame, much heavier, more than 8,000 pounds, and you can also see that we've added a third leg to the system for extra support. So this system is now a 3-leg based system that really is capable of managing 4-inch diameter solid bar stock.
Are there many other companies out there with a similar product?
There are very few that that play in this field because of the complexity and the rigidity and the mass that's required to put in a machine. Generally speaking, the overall market is smaller when you get to that capacity. However, sometimes many of our competitors only offer spindle length loaders, 3 or 4 foot lengths, where we offer that system as well as a 6 and a 12-foot system for this.
Yeah, and that's incredible to deal with those forces of spinning, a large diameter bar, 12 feet in length at 2,500 RPM on your spindle. That's a lot. With stock nowadays, it's a lot of
that's great stuff. So again, this particular product you might find in the agricultural equipment, the heavy-duty industry with nuclear reactor rods. Nuclear reactor rods, as well as downhole drilling, fracking, automotive. Those large style component is what we make in this product.
Well, fantastic. I mean, obviously, you guys have a breadth of products that cover a breadth of industries, and with your 5 locations throughout the country, you're able to support all these industries.
We actually have the largest range of any bar feed manufacturer here in the U.S. Our product range is by far the most vast. We have the heaviest headcount for service, and certainly it's the only thing we're focused on. Our business is based on loading and unloading spindles. That's what we're here for, is customer service and support. We've essentially have founded the principle as our secret sauce for customer service.
Well, fantastic. Thank you, Rick. It's been great. It's been nice talking to a leader in the bar feeder industry.
Absolutely.
So
thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Thanks, MTD, for your time.